What do you think? This is not a look you're going to see me wearing very often. I think it's pretty cool. I have a wedding to go to. I've got to get a bow tie. I'm a wood carver, so I'm going to make one. Here it is, and I'm going to show you how to make your own bow tie. The first thing to do, of course, is to study bow ties. I've actually got one here. You can see essentially a bow tie is made of a strip of material that's grasped around the middle, so we have a knot and two ends. This one has, and it's very common to have two pieces of fabric, and it also have some sort of attachment here. Now I don't like this bow tie. I don't quite like the way that goes in like that, but that's me. You might choose something different. This is a bow tie that I made several years ago, and I'll put a picture of this in the download. It's much fuller. There's much more rich things going on and less of this tight crease, which is going to be quite difficult to carve. So you need to go online, look at bow ties, get a bow tie, study them and have a look at them. That's the first important thing to do. Make a few sketches if you like. Try to understand how this might work. The next thing I did was to make a clay model. I could have used plastiline, something like that. The reason I did this was because I wanted to look at how I can make this a little bit fuller. And I particularly wanted to show this here, the way the bow actually is made by the material coming over. Remember, this is a little bit of a sculpture, so it's not going to move at all like fabric would. So I'm making a little bit of a play with the shadows here. So I've showed this here, and I've pulled out this second little bit of ribbon at the back here. So I've made this a bit fatter there, and I've played around with this shape. I started off by drawing something on the piece of wood like that to give me an idea, but actually I've deviated from that. But then when I've let this dry, because I didn't stick it down in any way, that clay comes off, and I can put a piece of paper underneath, and I can draw around and get my working drawing. This is just give me an idea of what's going on. I'm going to alter this, I'm sure. For example, I'm going to make more of this curve here, and probably less. I'm not going to kick that up, but it gives me a really good start in my mind to see what I'm going to do. The other thing that's worth saying is that my clay model, each side, because I'm human, is a little bit different. So what I did is I took the one side that I really liked, and I put this against a window, and I drew through the other side, so I got a mirror image of the bow tie. It won't work out quite exactly like this. It's a bit of carving, but I think getting symmetry is a good thing to aim for. Anyway, so I've got my working drawing there, and I can take this to my wood. But let's just talk about the wood now. That's quite important. Let's talk about the wood that we won't want to use. A wood like this, actually yew wood, has a very strong straight grain pattern like this, stripes. Now what will happen if we put that into our bow tie is that this wood won't read true for these folds, and especially if it's at a diagonal anyway, you'll be countering these shapes with these straight lines going across. So you don't want something with a strong stripy sort of figure like that. I'm going to use a wood that's really very plain. This is a bit of California nutmeg, because I like it because it's just a bright yellow colour with a very light grain. So this sort of thing that has very little in it, which I think will come out a lot more yellow, or something that has perhaps a very delicate, you can see this is a fiddleback pattern, or a bird's eye maple, or something like that, or even something like this. I hope you can see this here. Let's get this one in. So this is lace wood, and it has a very strong figure like this. And this sort of pattern would work very well. It would just mix in with all the light and shadow. So we're looking at something that has a amorphous sort of pattern. Bird's eye maple is perfect, I think, that sort of thing. If you go to Turner's, Wood Turner Supplies, you can often find Turner's use very interesting woods. We're going to polish this, so we do want a pattern. We're going to, you know, sand it, make it smooth, so we'll see this pattern. But what we don't want is a pattern like that goes under. So it goes across the folds. So lots of choices, but that's the sort of thing you're looking for. So I'd have my piece of wood. I've got my working drawing, and in this case I've printed it onto a label, scanned it in, printed it out on a label. I stuck it onto another piece of this wood, which I cut out on the bandsaw. This is a lot thicker than I want, I think, but it's better to have more wood than less. And I've glued it down to a piece of plywood, which I'll hold in a vise, with some watercolour paper, quite thick paper, and diluted glue. This is called the paper sandwich, and I'll put a link below this video where you can see more about that. So here it is, my carving ready to go. I've got my model, got my thoughts and my drawings ready to go.